self-esteem by Trinesha, Catrell.
Hi, this is Trinesha Catrell, and welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we're going to talk about dimming your light or letting your light shine. But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting and empowering content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. Okay. So earlier today, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm in my word, the whole thing. And the thing that stood out the most is dimming our light, especially in unforeseen circumstances when God redirects us our paths or allows us to be in certain circumstances that don't look bright at the time. And sometimes we want to question God and we're like, okay, God, why didn't this relationship work out? Why didn't I get this job? Why didn't I end up fill in the blank, right? We always have this idea of what our life is going to look like. And most of the time it's predicated on what other people's opinion is of us instead of what we believe in ourselves. And it really made me think about how sometimes we let our dreams fall at the waistline because we're so worried about what everyone else thinks. And I feel okay saying that because I feel like being transparent is the best way to help other people because you might not be the only person that's experiencing that. You might not be the only person who's thinking about all the things that you can accomplish in your life when really you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. Sometimes when life gets unexpected, we feel like, oh, that must mean we're not supposed to do this. Oh, if I don't have money right now, maybe I'm not supposed to be a millionaire. No, maybe you are. Maybe this is just something that's happening in life. Maybe this is building you for the next season. Maybe this is something that's teaching you a lesson so that you can learn it for where God is taking you. Maybe you will be the first millionaire, first billionaire in your family. But the only way to get there is through the storm, through the trials, the tribulations, through the adversities that are happening within your life. And sometimes we feel like it's supposed to be smooth sailing, like easy, 1, 2, 3, easy street. We just supposed to be easy like Sunday morning. Like, no, we are supposed to be putting in work. We rest when God tells us to rest so that we have energy for the things that He placed on the inside of us for us to do. And as I'm listening to these podcasts, I come across this channel. I had no idea. I know people are going to say, you should have known. But listen, I really had no idea that Oprah had a podcast. And on the show that I listened to today, Jamie Kerma Lima was on there. And for those, Kern Lima, and for those of you that don't know, she is the one that I talk about all the time on this show. I'm always on this channel. I'm always talking about her book that is so inspiring, and it inspired and motivated me so much on this journey, like of self empowerment, of just loving yourself, of really believing in your dreams and really going for the things that you want in life. And the book that I read was titled Believe It. And from the beginning of the book, it was just so inspiring. Her story was just something that lit a fuel inside of me that really made me motivated to go after my dreams at that moment. And that's what really encouraged me to finish out the book when I was feeling like I had nothing left. I was like, nobody's going to read this book. Nobody's going to care about my book. So why am I writing it? I felt like I was doing it for no reason. And she just listening and reading her story and hearing how no matter how many no's she got, no matter how many opportunities that she felt like she didn't have, she kept going. Even when she had nothing left. Like it seemed like all her resources were gone. It seemed like this was like the end all be all. And she had one more opportunity. She took the opportunity. She never gave up on herself. And that's why her story is so inspirational. And I just thought it was fitting that at this point in my journey, she would be the person as soon as I learned about this podcast that was on there talking about her new book titled Worthy. And I would definitely encourage you to purchase the book. I know I'm like shouting out somebody else's book and everything else, but when I tell you the way that her story motivates you is unlike anything I've seen. It feeds, for me, it feeds my soul, and it just lights this fire under me that really makes me want to keep going even when I feel like I want to give up. It's like I'm not in this alone. I'm not the only person. And one of the things that she said earlier in the podcast was to never let anyone dim your light. And I know we see that in a quote somewhere all the time, but sometimes you need to hear somebody else say it. Sometimes the reiteration of knowing that everything is going to be okay is exactly what you need to hear to keep pushing forward And I'm hoping that I could be that person today that tells you that the way that she said it early in the podcast, and it motivated me. I'll be able to motivate or inspire you as well. And so she said a couple things that were so helpful earlier today. And I know I'm not going to be able to verbatim it, but I am going to try to at least list the things that stood out the most to me. The first thing was to never let anyone dim your light. When you are going through life, sometimes your family, your friends, people that are around you can't see the vision that God placed on the inside of you. And so you feel like, well, maybe it's impossible. Maybe I'm not supposed to live this dream. Maybe I'm not supposed to be in this purpose. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was in this area. But it's not about you being good. It's about God being good. It's about, even if you're not qualified for the position, God can still qualify you. God doesn't need you to be perfect in whatever area that He gifted you in. He just needs you to be willing to be obedient and to step into your purpose. God is not expecting you to look like the picture perfect person who does everything right. He wants to show the adversity. He wants to show the journey that you've been on so other people can be inspired and motivated by the things that you're going through. God never intends for you to be Him. He intends for you to be the best version of you. And so when you're going through life and you see somebody telling you you can't do something, or they're telling you, oh, I don't see how that's even possible. No one has ever done blah. That's because you're supposed to be the first one. Sometimes we start to second guess ourselves because other people can't see the vision that God's given us. But God gave you that vision so that you could step into purpose. It's not for everybody. And people mean well, they really do. And they're just trying to protect you because they don't want you to get hurt and things like that. But you have to go after your dreams. You cannot allow anyone not seeing your vision to dim your light. You have to go after it with the tenacity, with the zeal, with the zest of the, like, you have to go after it like this is what you want for your life. You have to go after it like, I never wanted anything more than this. Even when everyone else says no, even when nobody else can see the vision that God gave you, you still have to go for it. You cannot give up on yourself. You can't give up on your dreams. You have to keep going. When people around you, this ties in. It's like God just be working on me. You know what I'm saying? And so I was listening to a sermon earlier today, and the pastor said something like, you can really tell if someone is from God or from the adversary when they push you into purpose or pull you away from it. When they're saying, oh, you don't have to do all of that, that's the adversary. God would never tell you not to go after your purpose with that zeal, with that intensity, with the same tenacity, the same energy that you had when you was out here in these streets doing wrong. It's the same energy God wants you to have while you're out in this church doing right. You know what I'm saying? The same energy He wants you to have when you're really trying to let His people go, when you're really trying to free His people from this scarcity mindset or the unbelief or the cynicism or whatever else it is that you're struggling with in your life. God is blessing you with that gift so that you could help the other people. And when God introduces people in your life, they will push you into purpose. They will help you see your vision clear. They will open doors for you. They will be the person that says, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm with you regardless. They'll be the type of people that say, you know, it might sound crazy, but all right, we're going to both be crazy together. They'll be the type of people that won't just say, oh, why you want to do that? Can't nobody do that? I ain't never seen nobody do that. Oh, it don't take all of that. You got to do what? Why would you have to do all of that to get it? Those people, that's not God. That is the adversary trying to stop you from your purpose, because he will do whatever it takes to send someone who will doubt you so that you could doubt yourself, because he can only penetrate your mind. He can't stop you from the purpose and the gifts that God gave you. He can only stop you from believing in yourself. So when you're around people, make sure you surround yourself with people who do not dim your light. You have to continue to keep going. You have to keep believing in yourself. You have to keep knowing that all things are possible with God. You have to know that even though you don't have an example of what it looks like, that you might be the first one. You might be the example that people need to see so that they believe in themselves. You might be the person lisp and all talking on a YouTube live, trying to inspire people when you said that nobody would listen to your voice because you don't talk exactly perfectly. You might be the type of person who just looks like not like everybody else, who wears their hair all sorts of ways, who messes up on words, stumbles when they speak, who might not look like the picture of perfection, who might be just trying to be a better person. And you being better puts you 3 months ahead of the person who's looking at your testimony to keep going. God could use you in any season for anything. And you just have to believe in yourself and stop allowing others to dim your light. When someone around you dims your light, remove and distance yourself from those people. They might mean well, they might not be a bad person. They might just have bad intentions. I mean, they might not even have bad intentions. They might just not know any better. They might really think they're helping. But if it's hurting your purpose, if it's making you second guess yourself, then distance yourself, because you have to have like this belief like you've never imagined. You got to be willing to go for it even when nobody else believes in you. Like even when other people are trying to stop you, even when other people are trying to say that you'll never be able to accomplish this thing. Just because they can't accomplish it doesn't mean you can't accomplish it. Sorry, that was like the old Nisha just popping in right there. No, but seriously, just because other people can't do it doesn't mean you can't do it. That just means that's not their gift. That means they're not purpose for that thing, but you are. You have to keep going after the things that God is placing in your heart to do, and you have to stay obedient, because sometimes I did things in life and I'd be like, why is God telling me to do all of these things that make absolutely no sense at all? And then I look back a year later and I'm like, oh, all of that was preparing me for this. I needed to be there so I could learn how to be around other people. I needed to be there so I could heal this part of my heart, so that I could be in this type of environment and know that this is where I'm supposed to be. But if I had just walked into an environment like that, I would have never been prepared. God prepared me in the off season because he knew that that is what I needed to do. He knew that's what he needed to do to prepare me for that season. So as you're going through life, never stop believing in yourself. You have to keep going. I know it's hard. I know the world is trying to tell you that you can't do anything. I know people are trying to tell you all the things that you can't do, and they're trying to get on your gifts and tell you you're not that talented, that tell you that you're not good enough, tell you you'll never be in an opportunity like this. You'll never be a millionaire, a billionaire. You'll never be able to drive this car. You'll never be able to travel the world, whatever it is. You'll never be able to support yourself by pursuing your purpose. You'll never be able to live the life of your dreams because you have to work a 9 to 5 until you retire, and then you can finally start living your life. Whatever the thing is that people are telling you, you have to listen to God. Use discernment and allow God to guide you so that you can live the life of your dreams, so that you can be in purpose, so that you, no matter what's happening around you, always believe in yourself. Oprah said this thing earlier, and she said people always got on her so bad for saying it. She said, I felt like I was born for greatness. I feel like all of us have a little bit of greatness inside of us. And I know there might be some people who get on me for saying that, but if you ever get in a moment in your life and you feel like there's more to your life, like you're not doing enough, like there's still something that I'm supposed to be doing, it's because you're not living in your fullest potential. You're not being in purpose as much as you should be. Because when you're in purpose, you feel completely fulfilled. So don't lack on your purpose just to have temporary fulfillment and have a moment where you just feel like you're good at this one moment in your life. No, go for something with longevity. Go for something that comes from God, because that's something that lasts. That's something that you don't have to worry about it just being temporary. It'll be for a lifetime. So believe in yourself. Know how great you are, and that although you're different, that difference is what makes you unique. That difference is the thing that is probably your gift. But other people can't see it because they just think you're being silly. They think, oh, that's just her being her. No, that's your gift. Stop diminishing your capacity. Stop not believing in yourself just because somebody else can't see who you are. You have to know who's and who you are, and believe it even when nobody else can see it. Believe it and have the right people in your circle so that they can keep pushing you towards the gifts and the purpose that God has for you in your life. Stop allowing people to stop you, because just because they don't believe in themselves doesn't mean you shouldn't believe in you. And I'm not trying to get on to other people. They really might mean well, but you have to do what's best for you in your life and be obedient to God so that you can walk into purpose. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.